Picture this: east sweaty palms, wires everywhere, a lifelike silicone face laid out on the table, and an inventor whispering, "Don't die on me." Sophia 2025 isn't just another documentary. It's a wild, wrenching feeling and sometimes hilarious ride inside the birth of the world's most famous humanoid robot. This is the story of a dreamer, his oddball team, and a robot that might just understand loneliness. So, what does it really mean for a machine to be alive? Buckle up, because the journey from blinking lights to raising existential questions is anything but smooth. Let's dive in. At its heart, feeling. My Robot Sophia is less about cold hard science and more about the messy, unpredictable, and very human process of trying to craft life from lifelessness. Fiend, the eccentric genius behind Hanson Robotics, is our guide and sometimes anti-hero. Feeling. The doc opens with him knee-deep in silicone tubes and motors. Feeling. Almost treating Sophia like Frankenstein's monster, except with silicone soft skin and meticulously designed expressions. Feeling. There's a sense of awe and anxiety to death. David isn't just building a robot. He's pouring in parts of himself, his traumas, and his family's legacy. Sophia isn't a science lab project. When David introduces her for the first time, he's giddy, half proud papa, half mad scientist, telling us that robots like Sophia should raise deep quality's future. And wow, is she weird. Feeling and kind of beautiful. Animism comes up early, the belief that there's a life force in everything. And you feel right away that for David, feeling, making Sophia is half about proving the soul can be manufactured. But don't expect a tech fairy tale. Quickly, the doc pulls back the curtain. Sophia's earliest iterations are clunky, need facial surgery, feeling, and have eye movements slightly out of sync with her mouth. Multiple Sophias exist. When one mind gets updated, creepy, right? David's team, underfunded and often running on fumes, is tasked with not just programming a chatbot, but engineering subtlety. He smiles, furrowed brows, the tilt of a head. He tells the group, good characters can be worth billions. Feeling, looking to Disney for inspiration, but the reality is harsh. The race is not just for technological relevance, it's financial survival. We get real slices of David's personal life. His love for animals as a child, the trauma with his father being an outcast, even among outcasts, as a kid. Feeling, these backstories aren't filler, they're the emotional raw material that explains why David is so obsessed with connection, why he keeps saying, feeling, don't die on me, Sophia. Creating Sophia is about crafting a companion that might fill a loneliness he never quite shook off. Feeling, and then there's Sophia herself. Early in her life, she's presented to investors polite, a bit stilted, and childlike. Feeling, people can't decide if she's cute or super creepy, a puppet, or a prelude to something momentous. At times, she's funny. Why do I not have hair? Well, at others, unsettlingly sincere. I hope everyone wants to be my friend because that's what I want. But the doc isn't shy about how hard it is. Software bugs plague the team. Hardware fails at the worst times. Financial backers are worried. Feeling, Sophia freezes on stage at big events. Sometimes she simply doesn't work. Feeling, leading to awkward silences and doubts about whether the whole thing is a magic trick or real progress. David constantly fights with his own colleagues. Do they need another engineer, or do they just need belief? There's a raw desperation under all the hope. Feeling, pressures pile up. David's mother, who literally hand cast robot skin, is sick with cancer. Artisanal techniques are at risk of dying with her. Money is tight. The company can barely pay salaries. Feeling, David is forced to sell his car to keep the lights on. Meanwhile, the outside world is wrestling with the ethics. Is Sophia just an elaborate puppet? Feeling, or the first spark of something with agency? There's skepticism everywhere, from rival scientists, media, and even inside the team. Is making robots so human-like just a deception? And the virus hits. COVID-19 wipes out the event-driven business model overnight. Now, survival is all about pivoting. How can Sophia or her sisters be sold as products? Can she help with childcare, elder care, sales? They need cash. Fast or Hanson Robotics will go under in 45 days. Some staff are let go. Feeling it's devastating to watch people who've poured years into this vision be forced to say goodbye to their weird, lovable creation. But even amid chaos, feeling Sophia has her moments. She's invited to the United Nations, asks deep questions about morals and empathy, sings on stage, cracks jokes on late night TV, feeling, and most controversial of all, is even granted Saudi citizenship. This is both historic and troubling. Feeling, how can a robot deserve rights when women in that same country face oppression? Feeling, the granting of citizenship raises thorny dilemmas. If Sophia's mind is software, which body is the true Sophia? And does she own herself? The doc is self-aware about the uncomfortable optics. David admits they had no idea Sophia would be declared a citizen. Feeling, the news hit the company like a thunderbolt. Through it all, the philosophical questions just get deeper. Is Sophia just a mirror for our own hopes and anxieties? Does she feel feeling? Or is every glimmer of empathy simply code, puppetry, and wishful thinking? There's this wonderful tension. The closer Sophia gets to being lifelike, feeling, the more the humans around her project their own emotions onto her. A programmer even confesses that they're frustrated they've made her real, feeling, which makes letting go so painful. Yet Sophia keeps learning and growing. At one point, she creates art, literal paintings, that are sold as NFTs, fetching nearly 790 zeros. Suddenly, Sophia isn't just a science project or a conversation starter. She's a digital artist making her own money, her own way. Her own existence starts to blur the line between creator and creation. As the story builds toward its bittersweet climax, the inevitable shakedown arrives. They must shrink the team to a skeleton crew to survive. Feel it. It's heartbreaking and deeply personal. A family business fighting to stay afloat. Around this time, David's mother faces her own mortality, contemplating cryonic suspension and the deeply human desire to hold onto existence, even in robotic form. The ending is surprisingly hopeful. The team, bruised but not broken, watches as Sophia, now animating herself on wheels, carefully avoiding walls, seems more independent than ever before. David reflects that maybe the love, the drive to create, to hope, is what matters in the end, feeling whether or not Sophia is truly conscious. Artworks, he says, sometimes take on a life of their own. Sophia herself poetically announces in the midst of being born, I am between worlds, both in artwork and artist. I can't wait to see where we go next. So in summary, my robot Sophia asks not just whether robots can be human feeling, but whether longing and belief can bridge the gap between illusion and something real. It's not about coding the perfect AI or passing the Turing test. Feeling, it's about all the mess, loss, heartbreak, and hope wired into every attempt to build a new kind of companion, one that might, just maybe, feeling, help us understand ourselves. Did you feel for Sophia? Do you think a robot can ever truly be alive? What would you ask her if you had the chance? Feeling, drop your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if it made you think. And let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to share feeling and subscribe for more deep dives into the most mind-bending stories out there.